How are you, sir?
Doing great, thanks.
I love getting to talk to people from Bank of America because you always come bearing gifts, and for Axios, a gift is data. So tell me what you are seeing in the data that the bank has. And consumer sentiment, economic information, really important right now. What's your view of that?
So balance, right? There's always two sides that you got to weigh together, and we see uncertainty in the economic environment. You see that all around you. You see headlines suggesting maybe things aren't all that great. But Bank of America's got 79 million customers, and we get to take a look at all of their behavior, and their payment behavior doesn't represent what's happening over on this side. So on a payment side, our customers are paying out, using their money.
Right.
6% more than they did last year.
So it kind of seems like the headline excitement is not hitting people in their wallets, I guess.
I think about it as resilience.
Yeah.
So those customers, our customers, are being very resilient. It's a view that maybe they're out there saying, look, I'm going to maintain my status quo.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cut back at this stage. So you got that balance going on.
Got it. You have a big remit at the bank. Let's start on the digital side first. Talk a little bit about digital transformation, like what it's been like on the 6-year journey you've been on.
Yeah, well, we've been on a journey on digital for a long, long time. I joined the digital team about 6 or 7 years ago on it, and it was a kind of a tipping point for us because the behavior of consumers hadn't gone all the way over to everything is digital on that side. Now it's the front door, right? Unscripted. How many customer interactions? I said around 79 million customers. How many customer interactions do you think we have at the bank a year? So that means, and I'll qualify those, people who call us, visit us, or log in to us.
A lot. Hundreds of
Anybody want to give me
billions of them?
10 billion.
Okay.
97% are digital.
Right.
So we have now changed behavior, which is when you talk about bank, it's not go visit a branch and things. Those are still super important, but the front door is our digital offering.
What has that meant for how the bank operates, or is that even a dense question? When it goes from 97% almost entirely digital, how do you think about the bank's relationship then with all those?
Well, the good news is there was no big transformation that was needed because we always start with the customer and what's important to the customer. There's always basics in our business, which is it's three things. No matter what cycle we're in technology, I'm sure we'll talk about AI and those things. We're talking about 7 years ago. It's ease, convenience, and safety. That's what consumers are looking for. And so the question becomes, how do you apply technology to make things easier? Well, I gave you a mobile app. You don't have to go to a PC. Make it more convenient. You can do it anytime you want. And all of a sudden, feature and functionality that you don't have to go to a branch to wire for buying a car or something like that.
There's no way we're going to sit here and not talk about AI.
Totally.
So let's spend a couple minutes on that. Like the bank has an AI platform, Erica.
Yep.
Talk about how that is evolving and what these large language models are changing.
Sure.
You.
So the start of that, think about our AI assistant. Her name is Erica. Do you know how we got it? This is genius marketing.
all from your mind, right?
We took the A and the M off the beginning. America, Erica. So that's
brilliant.
That's the brilliance behind it. So we have Erica that's been out there for about 7 years at this stage, and it started long before a lot of the hype started on that side. And it was based on making things easier, more convenient, and safer. We took patterns and looked at how many times people have to search and what it took to search for things, and we turned it into an assistant at that stage. And then you start getting into the different models that are there, and we start tuning, and all of a sudden in our own properties across all of the product and services we have what we think is one of the best assistants for banking.
7 years technologically is an eternity from when it started to where we are now. Like, how has that capability improved, and what's just over the horizon?
Oh, it's a logarithmic bar, and especially in the world of AI at this stage. It was pretty flatlining there when it wasn't in the big public domain, and there weren't big companies making headlines with it. At this stage, it's moving so fast it's hard to catch up with, right? I think my personal opinion is that we're still in that hype cycle. Every technology has its hype cycle. Then it drops down, people go, that's not really what it could.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you start seeing practical applications, it starts going up, and then all of a sudden it has business impact on it, and then it's like wildfire. I think we're kind of in that, that
We're over the hype
maybe,
part, and we're going to start figuring it out.
Hard to pinpoint, but we're still in that hype cycle. And I've noticed over the last 2 years that there are starting to become many more practical applications that
Right.
you and I would be using in our daily lives.
Right, and that's where like the real business
And that's
impact.
now we're starting to venture into the world where people are going, oh, okay, I see that. Let me apply it here. And this has real benefit to the company and to the customers
Yeah.
that you've got. And that's where I think it's going to get supercharged.
Let's switch hats here. Take off the digital hat, put on the marketing hat. This is a fun thing to talk about.
They're actually one and the same.
Well, we'll keep them both on
Okay.
then. Sports partnerships. Tell me a
Yeah.
little bit about how you view that and how it's important to the
Yeah, Bank of America, it's an amazing place to work. We're banking roughly 1 out of every 2 American households that are out there. And what's paramount for us is to be center to culture, right? And when you think about the culture today, sport is a big thing. And so when we look at it from how are we going to engage customers, we said, let's put a bet on the fact that we can go out and partner, not sponsor. The
Right.
word sponsorship of these is outlawed.
Not knowingly.
in our shop. It's partners. And the difference between that is that when we look to do a partnership, we have 3 litmus tests. Test number 1 is, will this yield business impact to us?
Right.
Test 2, will it have an economic impact in the communities that we serve? And litmus test number 3, is it going to add some excitement into the 215,000 people that work at Bank of America?
Right.
And so a great example of that was last year, we became the first sponsor after 38 years for the Boston Marathon. So John Hancock had Boston
Right.
Marathon for 38 years, turned it into one of the most legendary events that is out there, just a spiritual type event
Yeah.
if you've ever been around it. And one of the things they always did was raise money for different causes on that side. And so we took over. The most they ever raised was $30 million. Last year we raised $72 million.
Right.
So, we put our money where our mouth is to say, look, we're going to do this to actually benefit the communities that
Yeah.
we serve.
I want to take another step back. You talk about like global impact, World Cup, not just global impact, domestic impact here. Talk a little bit about the importance of soccer to that as well.
Yeah, so think about it from almost like a portfolio manager would think about stocks, bonds, cash.
Yeah.
We are in the world where we're building a portfolio to have those 3 impacts that I talked about, to add value to whoever's partnership we have, and to add value to us. And so when you're starting that journey, you were going to go kind of more blue chip.
Yeah.
And so we chose Boston Marathon, we chose the Masters for golf. We already own the Chicago Marathon, so that was a no-brainer. And then we said, well, sport, what's the next frontier? And it was soccer.
Right.
And so we went out and we were fortunate enough to be able to partner the exclusive financial service, wealth management, banking provider for the World Cup in 26.
Right.
You know how many people watch the World Cup? There are 8 billion people in the United States.
Then I
in the
know
world.
it's billions. Right.
8 billion people in the world, 6.5 will watch the World Cup.
That's pretty good.
We're on a spotlight.
Yeah.
We also signed the Club World Cup, which is this June. Those are all hosted in the United States across 11, 12 different unique cities.
Yep.
So it gets us to the local piece. And then the last one, just to show you we're all in on soccer,
Right.
was we are the proud sponsors now of U.S. Soccer, all 27 national teams.
Yeah. Excellent, excellent. So we're about to get the hook here. I want to stay on soccer for one fun thing, which is how I love to end these conversations. You just don't deal with soccer at work. You deal with soccer at home and in your life.
Yeah, I
Tell
do.
us how it fits into your life.
The quickest story I could tell you is a demonstration of how bad I am at soccer and how great my wife was. She was one of these All-Americans, high school Hall of Fame, college Hall of Fame, all of that stuff. I met her in college, and she was being inducted into our college Hall of Fame, and the athletic director, who was my coach, got up at the podium, did this wonderful speech, and then ended it with, the only way that Tyree Name's getting into the Hall of Fame is through marriage.
Well, you got in
I
the
did.
back door.
Yeah,
I get it.
exactly.
David, thanks so much for being
Okay.
here. Thanks to Bank of America.